Chapter 11 A Midsummer's Night Dream Part 1 Learning Objectives 1. Shakespeare portrays romantic love as the blind, irrational, often beautiful force that can be both cruel and forgiving. 2. Understanding the writing technique of Shakespeare. Warm up. Look at the words in the title of the play separately and brainstorm what each word suggests to you. William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616, was an English poet, playwright, and actor who is widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. His works, including collaborations, consist of approximately 38 plays, 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and a few other verses. His plays have been translated into every major language and are performed more often than those of any other playwright. 445 BC, Athens, a famous port city in an ancient times, had a cruel law in existence. This law permitted fathers to force their daughters to marry men chosen by them. If the daughter refused to obey her father on his choice of her husband, the father was allowed to have his daughter put to death for disobedience. However, this law was in existence only in this particular city of Athens. But fathers are loving dads. Normally, they do not want to put their daughters to death, and so this law was ignored and used perhaps only to threaten the young ladies of dire consequences and bring them into submission to their wishes. Characters in the play: Oberon, King of Fairies; Titania, Queen of Fairies; Hugus, an old man living in Athens; the Zeus, Duke of Athens; Hermia, daughter of Hugus; Demetrius, a young man of a noble Athenian family; Helena, Hermia's friend; Lysander, young Athenian; Puck, Oberon's helper and chief favorite fairy; Bottom, Pea Blossom; Cobweb, Weaver; Moth and Mustard, Seed, Fairies. Scene 1. Hugus: Sir, I want the law to be brought into force against my beautiful daughter Hermia, who refuses to bow to my wishes because she is in love with Lysander, a young Athenian. She has therefore refused to marry Demetrius, a young man of a noble Athenian family. Hermia: Helena, my good friend, loves Demetrius to distraction. How can I marry my best friend's love? The Zeus: Young lady, I have no power to change this ancient cruel law, but I can give you 4 days to consider your father's will for the betterment of your future. If you should at the end of 4 days still refuse to obey your old father, then you will have to be put to death, much against my desire to see you destroy your own beautiful self by your own decision to refuse to obey your father. Scene 2. Quickly, Hermia made haste to meet Lysander, her lover. Hermia: Oh Lysander, because of this cruel law being invoked against me by my father, I have to give you up and marry Demetrius. If I want to live, what shall I do? Oh, my love, my life! How can I escape this cruel law and continue to live with you, the one I love? Lysander: Hermia, my beautiful love, do not distress yourself so much. See, I have an aunt living in this city, which is some 10 miles distance from here. If we go to that city, we can get married over there instead of here. So, in the dead of the night, when your father is fast asleep, you creep out of your house quietly and meet me in the woods outside this place where we once met your friend Helena in the morning in May, and together we will travel to my aunt's home and get married there. There you will be safe from your father and his cruel desire to have you put to death for disobeying him. Okay? Hermia: Yes, I will certainly meet you in the lovely woods at midnight tonight. Whispering to Lysander. Lysander and Hermia parted ways. Helena, passing that way, met Hermia. Hermia: Helena, Lysander, I have decided to leave Athens, the city, with this cruel law and marry. So, goodbye, my friend. Helena, who was jealous in her heart about Hermia, decided to betray her friend. Goodbye, dear. Take care. She went and told Demetrius about the plan, knowing well that Demetrius would chase after Hermia. Scene 3. It was a midsummer night. The woods where Lysander and Hermia planned to meet was the favorite place of those little creatures with wings called fairies. Oberon, the king, and Titania, the queen of the fairies, along with their entourage, held their midnight dances and parties in these woods. The fairy king and queen were at loggerheads at this juncture. They could not meet in peace in the moonlight nor walk in the shade of the pleasant woods before a quarrel would ensue, and then the argument would become so heated till all the fairies in the wood would get into an uproar over the issue between the king and queen. The reason for this unhappy state of affairs was a result that Titania the queen refused to give Oberon the king a little changeling boy whose mother had been Titania's dear friend. Upon her death, the fairy queen stole the child from its nurse and brought him up in the woods. Now that same eventful night that Lysander and Hermia planned to meet in the woods, Titania was walking along with some of her maids of honor when she suddenly came across Oberon the king, who was attended by his train of fairy courtiers. Oberon: How unfortunate for me to meet you in the moonlight. Oh, proud Titania, quickly said. Titania: What? Is that you, covetous Oberon? Come, fairies, let us skip away from here, as I have promised myself to have nothing to do with him. Oberon: Nay, stay. O fairy queen, do not be so rash as to run away. Am I not your lord? Why does Titania make her Oberon angry? Come now, give me your little changeling boy to be my page, and we will forget the quarrel. Titania: Set your heart at rest, my lord, for you cannot buy this boy from me, even at the cost of your whole fairy kingdom. Oberon: Oh, go your way, O queen, for before the morning dawns I will punish you for this. Oberon then sent for his helper and chief favorite fairy nicknamed Puck. Actually, his real name was Robin Goodfellow. He was both a clever and mischievous sprite, all playing tricks in the neighboring villages, sometimes getting into the dairies and skimming the cream from the milk, sometimes hiding in the butter churn so that the dairy maid would work without any success to change her cream into butter. Neither were the young men able to escape Puck's trick in the brewing vat, which he caused the ale to get spoiled. Even when a few neighbors met for a sociable drink, Puck would jump into a tankard of ale in the likeness of a masted crab apple, and just as some old woman was taking a sip, he would bob against her lips and spill the ale over her withered chin, causing laughter among the onlookers. Another trick that he would play was to disguise himself as a three-legged stool just behind an old woman who was about to sit down and narrate her sad story to the neighbors, and just when she would bend to sit down, he would slip from under her, and she would topple down in a funny way, causing the others to laugh so much that they would be holding their sides laughing all the while, saying they really did spend a merry hour of laughter. Such were the mischievous antics played by Puck the elf. Oberon: Come here, Puck, and fetch me the flower which girls call love in idleness. Now, the potion drawn when you squeeze the juice of that little purple flower on the eyelids of someone who is asleep would make the person fall in love with whomever the person sees on waking up. I will drop some of that juice on the eyelids of my Titania while she sleeps, and when she opens her eyes, she will fall in love with whatever she sees, even though it is a lion or a bear, a meddling monkey or a busy ape. This way, I will make fun of her till she agrees to give me the boy to be my page, and then only I will remove the charm from her sight with another spell that I know. Puck, who loved mischief, was thrilled with this plan and ran to look for the flower. While Oberon was waiting for him to return, he noticed Demetrius and Helena enter the woods. He overheard the unkind things that Demetrius was saying to Helena. Demetrius, stop following me and leave me alone. Helena, remember how you swore love to me first and how faithful you were to me. Why have you changed like this? You know that Hermia does not love you, but another, so let her go and return to me, for I love you truly. But Demetrius would not listen to her cries. He just left her and began walking away from her fast. Demetrius, I'll leave you, Helena, to the mercy of the wild beast. This made Helena all the more to run after him to keep pace with his fast walk for fear of the wild animals. The fairy king, who in his heart loved true lovers, felt very sorry for Helena. So, when Puck returned with the little purple flower, Oberon to Puck, take a part of this flower and squeeze the love juice on the eyes of the man who is rejecting the love of a sweet Athenian lady, so that when he wakes up and she is near him, he will see her first and begin to love her. Puck promised to manage this matter skillfully. Quietly, Oberon slipped into Titania's bower whilst she was preparing to sleep. Titania, some of you fairies must kill cankers in the musk rose buds, and some wage war with the bats for their leather wings to make my small elves' coats, and some of you keep watch so that the noisy owl that hoots every night does not come near me. Now let me hear some soft music to put me to sleep. So the fairies got together and began to sing a lullaby. The queen fell asleep hearing the lovely melodious voices of her fairies singing this pretty lullaby. Quietly they all left her to get on with the important task she had assigned them. When all was silent and quiet, Oberon stealthily approached Titania and rubbed some of the love juice on her eyelids, saying, Oberon, what thou seest when thou dost wake, do it for thy true love's sake. Find meaning, existence, alive. Invoked, to use a law in order to achieve something. Distress, extreme anxiety, sorrow or pain. Covetous, greedy. Beast, animals. Ancient, very old. Mischievous, playfully provocative. Assigned, allotted. Entourage, followers. Onlookers, spectators. Loggerheads, to be in an argument. Squeeze, compress. Stealthily, secretly. Exercises, creative expression. Tell your story. A. Do you think Hugus is justified in being angry with his daughter? Why or why not? B. How did you feel when you read Helena's decision to tell Demetrius about Hermia and Lysander's plan? Why did you feel this way? Cross-curricular connect, learning by doing. We read about Hermia in this play. She plays an important role. Based on your understanding, write the character sketch of Hermia in 150 to 200 words. Exercise time. Answer the following questions. Number 1. Why was Hugus angry with his daughter? Answer. Hugus is upset because his daughter Hermia has challenged his authority. When Hugus approaches the Zeus, he has just learned that Hermia rejected his preferred suitor. Demetrius. Presumably, Eugus refers Demetrius for reasons related to wealth and status. 2. What did Hermia and Lysander decide to do? Answer. Lysander and Hermia decide to run away together through the woods so that Hermia doesn't have to marry Demetrius. 3. Why were King Oberon and Queen Titania at loggerheads? Answer. Oberon and Titania are fighting with each other because Titania possesses a changeling human boy who she feels compelled to raise out of respect and love of her good friend who is the mother of the child and is also dead. Oberon wants the changeling boy so that he could use the boy as his henchman. 4. What did King Oberon ask Puck to do? Answer. Before hurrying away to anoint Titania's eyelids with the flower's juice, Oberon orders Puck to look for an Athenian young being pursued by a lady and to put some of the juice on the disdainful youth's eyelids so that when he wakes up, he will fall in love with the lady. Find their meaning. 1. Rash, impetuous. 2. Sprite, an elf or fairy. 3. Quarrel, fight. 4. Lullaby, a soothing refrain. Fill in the blanks. 1. The woods where Lysander and Hermia planned to meet. 2. The third act of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream creates jealousy. And 3. Oberon tells the audience he plans to use the flower and drop the juice of it in her eyes. Take the right options. 1. To whom did Hermia refuse to marry? 1. Lysander. 2. Demetrius. 3. Oberon. Answer. 2. Demetrius. 2. To whom did Helena love? 1. Demetrius. 2. Lysander. 3. Oberon. Answer. 1. Demetrius. 3. Who was Titania? 1. Empress of Greece. 2. Queen of Fairies. 3. Princess of Romania. Answer. 2. Queen of Fairies. 4. Helena was jealous in her heart about 1. Lysander. 2. Demetrius. 3. Hermia. Answer. 3. Hermia. Match the following. Column A, column B. 1. The Zeus, Duke of Athens. 2. Demetrius, young man of Athenian family. 3. Hermia, daughter of Eugus. 4. Puck, chief fairy. 5. Oberon, king of fairies. 6. Titania, queen of fairies. Conceptual understanding. Tell your story. Write whether the following sentences are true or false. 1. The cruel law was in existence only in Athens. True. 2. Hermia loved Lysander, a young Athenian. True. 3. The king and queen of the fairies held their midnight dances in wood. True. 4. Lysander and Hermia planned to meet in the woods. True. Communication. Writing skills. You have lost your way in the forest where Puck lives. He plays a prank on you, but you are rescued by King Oberon and Queen Titania. Write an interesting episode of 100 words. Reading skills. Read the following telephonic conversation between two friends. Your friend is going to Delhi flight. This is the first time he is boarding a plane. He wants your help. Explain how he is going to do about it. Make pairs and enact the conversation. Friend, I am going to Delhi. You, did you get confirmed tickets? Friend, no, I am going by flight. I have never been to the airport or traveled by air before this. You, I will much tell you. Friend, how much luggage can I carry? You, do it yourself. Listening and speaking skills. The teacher will give directions to different places on the school campus. Children must carefully do the instruction and share the name of the places. For example, go out of the door, turn to your right and walk to the end of the corridor. Climb the steps to right. Where have you reached? Answer: reception area. Life skills: self-awareness building. Read the pledge on keeping the classroom neat and clean and try to frame your pledge too. Share it with your class teacher. Pledge: we should keep our classroom clean. We should keep the duster on the desk. We should keep our bench clean. We should always throw waste in the dustbin.